Hey, oh, holy shit. I walk away for like 2 seconds to get the best effing drive of the day.
I was like, I need to see that.
We're even hiding that guy on me. So, I mean, you literally cannot hit it longer or straighter than that. That is nuts. Okay. We were talking a little bit a moment ago. What's been going on with your driver lately?
Yeah, I took a lesson, got some feedback from the instructor. Been hitting a lot of stuff off the heel,
Okay.
Which is causing my face to open, which is sending everything right. So I've got a huge slice, which explains what's happening on the golf course.
No, 100%. And you know, it's one of those things where anytime you're hitting, you know, low heely, that's going to add the most amount of spin. So not only are you seeing it go right, but you're probably seeing way less distance than you deserve for how fast you're going to swing, right? So couple initial thoughts, like you swing pretty fast. I can tell you're working on your club path, you know. But let's have you hit another 3 or 4 just to kind of see what's there. Another thing you were telling me too is that you do have a little bit of a preference given this driver. It's like kind of a little bit of a family history thing. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I got this from my father-in-law. This is like going into my second full year of golf.
So you're like that early.
I'm very new to golf.
Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah. So definitely just the main reason when I got my irons is just to develop some consistency with the equipment I was using, and then now it's moving to the driver to try to get something that fits me a little bit better.
Right.
I'm, significantly younger than my father-in-law, swing a little bit harder, so just making sure that again I have the right equipment to perform the best I can.
Super fair. Super fair. So I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I work here when it comes to fitting versus lesson, but we always work tandem, right? A good fitting should kind of bleed into some good lessons, and good lessons should do the same thing. I always say you should probably get a fit first because we have more technology here, the 65,000 combos of heads and shafts. Inherently, I'm going to be able to do a little bit more based on the equipment, but I know to stay in my lane. I'm not a teaching pro. I do not claim to be, but I know enough to get, help here and there if needed. But your swing is actually looking pretty solid. I can tell you're working with somebody, so I know to, again, stay in my lane. So from here, I don't always know that that's the case with other people, right? If you go to a lesson first, the first thing that they'll do is they'll probably go to low-hanging fruit, and they may have a bias, right? They may have a friend that's like a Titleist rep or a Callaway rep that'll kind of railroad you into something. Here, we're brand agnostic, right?
Yeah, right.
Whatever works best is going to be what's best for you, and you're allowed to have preferences. It's cool that you like Cobra. Cobra, well, as we'll talk about, is a really, really good situation to be able to be very adjustable for you to maybe mitigate some of this, right? But everybody makes good stuff these days, right? So we'll be able to find some other options too. We'll probably start with a Cobra because you're familiar with it. Isolate variables, right? I'm going to leave that head alone while we cycle through shafts to really hone in on that best shaft. And then from there, we'll switch you out into other heads, maybe further dial you in a little bit. Or we might just be right with a Cobra and then easy.
Yeah,
right?
Easy peasy. Yeah, straightforward.
And just so you know, there's a new update on TrackMan right now. So it historically will always pop up as you hit, and it'll kind of show it.
Right, the height.
It's lagging today, so and it has been for the last couple days. So that anytime, just know that the most recent one for you is this top one always.
Okay.
Right, and I'll click it as soon as it populates, basically.
Okay, sounds good.
Good. Smidgen open faced, which is the miss, but good move. Let's have you hit one more.
Okay.
Well, you weren't lying to me. It's exactly what you told me. I do see a tendency to go right. So this is your circle dispersion, right?
Yeah.
So this shows us your results. I'm liberal with mulligans, right? So I deleted a couple. These are just your best, call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Yeah.
So from what I saw, the best one that we had here carried 264 yards and told 280. That's awesome. If you're doing that every time, you don't have a reason to be in here. That's great. But I see that there's a lot of potential. I don't want you to go out to the golf course expecting carry of 265, tolling 280, and then followed up by a carry of 230 and total of 240, right? Because then, God forbid, if there's water in front of you, you're not clearing it, right?
Right.
And I know we're dealing with a right miss, For the most part, I saw that to be true, right? Here, 5 yards right, 15, 25. So for the most part, you are having that fade that can maybe get away from you as a bit of a slice. We're definitely kind of pushing the golf ball too, which we'll talk about. And then sometimes you feel it and you save it with your hands, right? And then that's why we see that one-off pull, right? So to be honest with you, I don't care if it's a one-way miss. I don't necessarily mind that you're on the right. I just want to make sure if you are doing it, it's consistent and maybe not as right.
That's
right?
kind of what we gathered when we did my irons. Is like, if we're missing right, that's fine.
Right.
Just do it every time and then calm it down.
Right. Well, and the good news is you're doing your job by working with a teaching pro to kind of help out in that perspective. But basically what I tell my guys is that left and right circle dispersion is going to be affected. We can definitely improve by heads and shafts, but generally that is a little bit of a teaching pro thing / you working on your swing. Good news is we'll stack good on top of good. And as an equipment guy, I know that if you're capable of hitting 280, I want that to be what you're doing every time, and maybe having the misses at 270 or something, not that 40-yard delta, right? So we'll look to get that tighter.
Okay, awesome.
How we do that is taking a look at these numbers. So I know you're already familiar, so I'm not going to go through all of this in the normal detail because you've already been fitted for your irons. But club head speed, how fast you swing, right? So that's neither good nor bad. It's just your potential, right? I don't really care as much about how fast you swing. The bigger deal is ball speed, right? So every mile an hour there equates to 2 to 3 yards in carry. So if the faster that we see that, the more happy you'll be from a distance perspective. I know that's not necessarily the main goal of here, but the cool thing is if you hit it less right, you're going to get more distance. So usually that ball speed will come up because your face angle won't be as open, right? Smash factor. You remember going over that with?
Yes.
Okay. I say it's think about it like your golfer's grade. How well do you and the club get along? PGA Tour average on that on a driver is 148, right?
Okay.
The rules of golf, USG and R&A, say you can't have it higher than 150. So I'm greedy for this, right? I want that to be as fast as possible, as consistently as possible. So if we get 150, awesome.
Yeah.
That's a big ask. I just want to see marked improvement. When I see you at 143, I know that you can have that 148 that PGA Tour players have. Not because you're, as experienced or as fast, but that ratio should be the same, right? So even though they swing way faster, that efficiency for you should be, 148 too.
Right.
Launch here, launch and spin, definitely tied together. As we were kind of talking about earlier, when you're hitting over, you're coming over the top, you're creating that little bit of a fade, it will inherently cause more spin, right? And you're going to get less distance. Also, as we talked about, anything lower heely will cause more spin too.
Right.
So an average person, if they're launching at 12 to 14 like you do, I would want that to be 22 to 2400, right? So we're just spinning a little too much. That might be as simple as a golf ball change. We had talked about your golf ball being a normal Pro V1, but you're not really super religious about it.
Right.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that by the end of the fitting, I give you a golf ball that's also maybe complementing what we do here, right? We're using Pro V1s here. It's exactly what you're using outside, so it's a kind of a fair experiment. Again, something I'll look to hone in on is that spin. Height and land angle, pretty good. Height, 80 to 100 feet is kind of what I'm looking for. Generally, however fast you swing is club head speed is kind of roughly what it should be in height. But land angle is the thing that I don't love as much, right? So land angle is, okay, after we get that at highest point, what's the angle back down to the ground? We know on the 6-iron, we want that to go steeply, right? Here, a little bit flatter so it hits and bounce, right? At the moment, and tell me if I'm wrong, there's times where you hit this and it just doesn't roll out. It'll hit and stop, right?
It's skies.
Correct. And the reason why is because of too high in spin and too high in land angle. That should be mid to high 30s, right? So if we lower that spin, naturally it'll kind of pull down that land angle, make it a little flatter too. Something I like to show people too is this cool button that we have called the optimizer. The optimizer tells us what our potentials are, right? So again, I told you earlier, your potential is dictated by club head speed, right? So if you're going to swing at 106 miles an hour, and this is on your average, in a perfect world, the computer thinks that you should carry it 262 and total about just shy of 300 yards, right? 292. What's keeping you from that is all the stuff we've just discussed, right? Your spin being high, arguably your height being high. I kind of disagree, but we'll talk about that later.
Right.
And then ball speed being a little low, partially because you're not making good contact, but partially maybe it's just that not right head shaft combo, right? So this is a good way to kind of just reconfirm that all the stuff that we talked about is not just my opinion, it's also the computer's opinion. So any questions on any of that?
Nope, all makes sense.
Okay. Last thing, your swing, right? All of that stuff is dictated by equipment for the most part. I'd say generally this stuff is shaft driven. I'd say generally this stuff is more head driven. Not always, not exclusively. If I give you a stronger loft, ball speed naturally comes up, right? But that's kind of how you can think about it. But how this stuff works over here is how you swing, right? So again, I'm not a teaching pro, but you hitting up on it, this attack angle tells me whether you're hitting down or up, right? So if that's positive, you're hitting up, great. The best drivers of the golf ball will hit up by 5 to 7. You don't need to. As long as you're not hitting down, we can work together.
Okay.
If we're hitting down, I might have to switch you out, but luckily you're not doing that. Club path, really neutral. I saw you warming up, and you told me you had a history of coming more over the top. Right now, like, you're doing really well to neutralize that. You're not actually coming over the top a ton. And then on an average, your face to path, that tells me in relation to how you're swinging, are you coming through open, shut, whatever. When that's negative, you're slightly shut. So what's interesting is that it's seeing that you're shut, and yet you're finding yourself being more right. That doesn't really make sense because as you're pulling it, it should go left. But again, we talked about the concept of deflection, right? When we hit that low heel, it's going to kind of torque the face after impact to kind of send it this way. So that's what we're seeing here. So I'll look to kind of get that tighter too.
Cool.
Any questions on that stuff?
Nope.
Okay. So like I said, I'm going to leave you with one head for a while we kind of cycle through some stuff. What I'm seeing is that if we have our spin a little too high, I kind of want to get you in a low spin designed head. So Cobra has that LS model, that Optum that should be really great for you, and it's really adjustable. So let me get that and kind of talk to you about it.
Cool. Oh, that's a cool shaft.
Yeah, right. So not only is this like a cool, you just said it's like a cool looking shaft, it also performs really well. So this is called the VA Composite Sinister shaft, right? So it's a counterbalance shaft where we got more weight and stiffness in the handle section, right? Okay. It's usually meant for guys that historically, kind of like you, come more over the top, so you can kind of feel that not want to necessarily as much, right? Bigger deal is it's consistent. Hopefully it'll kind of pull in your circle dispersion a little bit. And then the head, like I said, this Cobra LS. One of my favorite things about Cobra drivers is this future fit hosel, right? So there's 33 different loft sleeve settings, effectively 33 different drivers.
Yeah.
When I first saw the commercial for that, I was sitting with my dad, and he's like, okay, well, the average person is not going to know all that. And I said, no, you're not getting it. This allows me as a fitter to give you a more precise fit.
Right.
And it kind of future-proofs you a little bit too, right?
Yeah,
so God forbid, correct, like 100%. I know that you're in the process of like working on your swing. God forbid this like kind of fundamentally changes in some major way that I'm not seeing yet.
Right.
Cool, you're not like locked in. You can kind of tweak this in the future. Right. Another thing too that I want you to note is that your existing driver, do you mind if I actually see that to kind of show it? You're using the Cobra King F9, and your existing driver has movable weights, right?
Yeah.
So when we have heavier weight in the back, that's actually going to promote more height and more launch and more spin, which is all stuff you don't want, right? So my first thought is like, if we were to stay in something similar, we'd switch the weights. We'd have more heavy weight up front. Now that might make it a little, air quotes, less forgiving, but if we're pairing it up with the perfect shaft, it should just kind of work, right? And like I said too, your driver is also adjustable in the sense that it could be a little bit draw bias where it's shutting the face or making it more upright. That's what we've already done for this too. Yeah. So I've put that heavier weight up forward, and I've also put some weight in the heel on this one to get you to shut the face a little bit easier.
Sure. Thank you.
Of course. And like you said, it doesn't hurt that it looks cool.
Yeah. This feels way heavier.
Yes. Great ball speed.
Way right.
Yeah, not as much. Maybe not as much as you think. Definitely one of your longest, just a little open-faced. And by the way, if that's consistent, then that's when I make an adjustment to make that even more upright.
Right.
Great swing. A little bit shut.
Yeah.
But what I like, look at the last two swings, how it's going kind of the same whether you leave the face open or shut.
Right.
Versus before we saw some big variance in terms of the distance that it goes. The other thing too, do you normally tee it up that low?
Usually I try to get like half
Good.
the
Okay,
ball
just
above.
curious. I just want to make sure because we might talk about that in a second
Just
here.
like a little higher, maybe.
Well, just look at your attack angle, right? When you're hitting more up on it, the higher the tee, the better it's going to usually go.
Okay.
Within reason. You know, obviously you can always do too much, but much better. Just a little left. And do you say does it feel like too heavy compared to what you've been used to?
Not too heavy. I kind of like it. It just feels. I definitely like feel it. Like,
yes. No. 100%.
Yeah.
Your existing one is a regular 60 gram. This is 65 stiff. So to your point, it'll feel more stout for sure. Cool. I think we don't have the right anymore. We're definitely more left than right. Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah.
So remember how I told you what legal limit smash factor was?
Yeah, 150.
Correct. And we just hit that.
There you go.
That is awesome, actually. Good swing.
Love that club path.
Yeah, you're so neutral. I'd love to see it. I could tell you're working on stuff. Great swing. That is very sexy. Look at this. Okay, so circle dispersion. Obvious, well, I mean, circle dispersion, we definitely tighten, right? On a left and right basis, you're still getting used to it, so this is the first time you're ever touching it, right?
Yeah, right.
I see that there's a little bit more of a right, there's a little bit more of a left, but when we had the timing right, we're unlocking something different here.
Right.
So maybe it's a little bit more tweaking, maybe it's a different shaft, but what I want you to see is that we've already hit so many of our goals. You're not swinging any faster, and yet the ball speed is faster. I told you every mile an hour is 2 to 3 yards in carry there. Right. So now, the only reason why we're not seeing actually more carry is because their launch came down a little bit and spin came down a little bit. But if you remember, that was a goal. We wanted to get spin down.
Yeah.
So you're still getting the same carry. Now you're just rolling out more. Now it's a little too much, to be honest with you. I want that height to be a little bit higher.
Okay.
So I'll look to maybe in the case like this, I might add a little bit more loft. Or I might change golf ball again to maybe switching you to a Pro V1X, which will launch a little higher and spin a little bit more. But like I said, we did so good to start, so now it's just kind of honing in, seeing what more I can do. Do you mind if I steal this?
Yeah, of course.
So we were seeing that the counterbalance shaft was doing its job. It was hitting more efficiently. Your smash factor is like PGA Tour average. We love to see it, especially this. You're in the middle of the off season, right? There's snow on the ground. You haven't played super regularly
but it's melting,
outside.
so that's important.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and we know that you're gonna get more consistent as you practice with any of this stuff.
Right.
So the one thing you commented on was the weight. It's a little heavier not only in overall weight, but in swing weight too, right?
Yeah.
And again, Club Champion is something that can build to a specific swing weight. Love to maybe get you something a little lighter, see if that's easier for you to wield, right? So this is another counterbalanced golf shaft. This is the Mitsubishi Tensei 1K Orange. It's a 50-gram stiff. So I'm shredding 15 grams, so this should feel a little bit easier to manipulate.
Yeah, immediately.
Correct. Look at your ball speed.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay, that's my favorite swing of your day, basically.
See, I don't mind the fade. I'm super happy with playing a fade. It's just calming it down.
No, correct. And to your point, when I know that you're capable of 30 plus yards to the right, I like that. Yeah, okay, you're a little bit on the right, but here's the thing. In here, you're not aiming at anything. So you know that you play a fade, you're going to aim up the left side. Right. I'm not really worried. I just want to see tight circles, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
That was a great swing. By the way, if you remember Optimizer, I told you hey, what are you capable of, right? So when we look at your own driver, again, you're seeing here is you're just missing out on a ton of stuff. Here, when it's all in blue, it means that unless we get you to swing faster, it cannot go better. So literally, it's actually doing better than what the computer thinks it should because you got nice high launch and nice low spin comparatively. It's really good. So thanks for making me look good at my job.
Yeah, of course. No, you're doing a great job.
Great. Look at that ball speed. So yeah, a little open faced. I'm not really worried about it. Look at your carry.
Yeah.
So I tell people to change for 8 to 10 yards. Look at your carry differences. We're gaining a 20 in carry, and we're gaining a 20 in total, and then we're not losing height at all. So fun. Yeah, you shut the face a little bit more there. Really good. So there's that perfect, real, PGA Tour average smash factor. And yeah, you didn't hit it perfect, and I can tell because the launch came down and the spin's too high. It meant that you hit it low in the face. However, if you're complaining about a 282-yard shot that's only 15 yards to the right when you know you're going to fade it, aim a little bit more left, that's so good, right? It's really, really good. And also, we've been looking
tight
at
circles too.
Correct. The other thing I'll say, we've been looking at total to this point because it's been flashier in the total. But carry is we're playing in Illinois. We're playing in wet conditions very often, and so I want to really optimize carry first because it's the guarantee.
Yeah.
If we look to carry, it's consistent. I mean, look at how tight this is.
Yeah.
I don't always show this to people because for certain people it doesn't matter as much. But there's this button I could press called the plus or minus that's showing me how consistent are you. The problem with yours is that you're carrying at 249, but plus or minus 13 yards, meaning okay, sometimes it's doing 249, but sometimes it's a club and a half less or more. For your total, it's even more dramatic. But now, look at this. We've shredded it to 6 yards in carry in total. So now you know what to expect. It's going to carry 267. You're going to total 290. Love to see it. Give me maybe one more, but this is very good. Does this feel better too? I'm hoping.
Yeah, this one feels better. I think.
Okay.
I like how light it is.
Good. Okay. Yeah. I think we're making it stiffer. So making it stiffer and heavier is a big ask, and so for a lot of people, it's a little too much. So I might even go back to try that at a lighter version of that first one because it's good. But we might just try other stuff too. So I'm gonna try. I like this weight range for you, and
Yeah.
I like the stiffness for you, but I'm now going to give you something, instead of just being stiff in the handle section, I'm going to give it stiff all the way around. So
Okay.
this one's called the Ventus TR Black, and that one,
See it on YouTube all the time.
yeah, it's kind of flashy, and it's like a lot of pros use the Ventus lines of shafts, but the TR Black is the big daddy, right? It's the one that's, in theory, shafts don't really spin, but it's the one that's designed anyway to have that kind of piercing ball flight, lower launch, lower spin. How much it actually does that for people kind of depends on the guy, but we'll try it out for you.
All right, awesome.
And it's light. Normally when we think about really stiff things, they are going to be heavier. This one is not, right? This is a 50-gram stiff, so it's the same as the one that you just hit.
Oh, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, not terrible.
Yeah, not great, but not.
Yeah. Ball speed was really good there. Yeah, pretty good. Hair open again.
Yeah.
And the good news is we're seeing this as that consistency. I
Yeah.
love to see that miss, because then, again, whether it's this head or a different one, I'll be able to make it a little bit more upright.
Right.
Look at your ball speed.
That one felt good.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
Fast, really, really fast. Tight circle dispersion too.
Yep.
Let's do a couple more. But how's that feeling compared to the other one?
This one feels good. Yeah.
Good, okay.
Similar, very similar.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been playing long enough to notice the stiff all the way through versus
Right.
up at the handle, but
Well, we're working on your golfer's palate. We were talking
Yeah.
about both being foodies here. It's like,
Yeah.
if I asked somebody to go review a Michelin star restaurant that's only ever had McDonald's, it's hard to tell. Right now, you've just been using the stock shaft. You don't
Right.
know. Now we're working on getting the different flavor profiles, because these
Right.
are all kind of similar. Like I said, 50-gram stiff. This is also 50-gram stiff, but
Yeah.
you notice that it still does feel different,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So as you test more, you'll start to see more of that difference. So, like, again, golfer's palate,
Right.
as much as there is one. I'm partial to the hot dogs at the turn, but
of course, tube steak at the turn.
there, you gotta. Good swing. Again, on a miss,
Yeah.
what I like is that your misses are not spinning as much, right? You know that on the misses that you had, it would spin up 3,000, almost 4,000 at
Right.
times. Now, that was a miss. You caught it thin, which is why the launch is down, and yet, look at your circle dispersion. It didn't
Right.
really harm you at all. In total, it actually did basically perfect.
Because it rolled out further.
Correct. It just had a little less carry. Look at your ball speed again. See ya.
Yeah, there we go.
So that's the first over 300-yard drive. So
There you
confetti should have popped from the ceiling. We
Where's
ran
my
out
confetti
before.
track, man?
Like, really good. Really, really good. And
Yeah.
again, maybe if this one's a little easier for you to feel like it's easier to rotate,
Right.
with it being stiffer, you have a lot of people will find themselves having more face orientation. Like this one might feel like you have to kind of time it up, and that's why they might be actually going a little bit more right, because you're kind of lagging. Versus this one, face is here, so you're
Yeah.
the one who's orchestrating.
I can
this.
just do
correct.
it, and there's no play.
No, correct. Do me one more if you don't mind.
Yeah, of
but
course.
like, you're making me look really good again, so love to see it. Maybe a little Healy.
Yeah.
God, it didn't kill you though. And again, ball speed for days just left the face open a little bit. So
Club path is a little.
what I love is that you've got a tight circle dispersion. Yeah, you did flick the hands closed once, but that's still in the fairway too. And
Right.
then this one, your miss is still right there. The Tennessee orange, it did have more of a tendency to go more right. So this one seems a little bit more controllable. And if we take a look, you're even better in smash factor. Again, PGA Tour average is like 148, right? So you had what's called hyper efficiency, doing better than a PGA Tour player for your swing speed, right? You're swinging about the same, ball speeds come up, your launch is a hair down, your spin's actually technically a little bit up. That's mainly part from, I thought a miss in here at one of these, but yeah, I mean, I guess that last one is a 3,000 spin miss, but it
Right.
still carried 270 and told 285, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not upset with that.
I mean, we're still like 30 up on the carry. on the
Correct,
total.
100%. It's massive. So now we'll hope to work to get that a little bit more less right. So can I steal that from you?
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, when you're having 149 smash factors, like I know we're pretty much done. And if we look at your optimizer on an average, we're basically right there, right? We're
Yeah.
maybe a little bit low in full total optimizer, for on an average, but there's misses in here, right? If we look at that best swing, it's basically doing exactly what it needs to
Right.
do. This one too, right? And tell me if do you feel that you were that you liked the feel of the Tennessee Orange better? Because I can make the argument that they're both really similar. The numbers might technically might even be a smidge better with this. especially if we're finding a way to close it. So
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't like notice like too much of a difference.
Okay.
I do like the stiff feel. Like
Good.
I think that was like the biggest difference. But
Good,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean between the two, I couldn't really tell much of a difference.
okay, we'll probably end up keeping both around. I might
Yeah,
try
yeah.
that shaft again with whatever head we find best at the end.
For sure.
But let's try. Well, actually, before I try a different head, I'm gonna actually just make this as upright as it goes.
Okay.
Just to see, because again, I've done everything we can from a Cobra perspective. We put the weight in the heel and in the back to kind of get you to shut a little bit easier, right? If I'd done the opposite, I put more weight in the toe, it slows your rate of closure. So
Yeah.
if you were hooking it consistently, that's what we'd want to do. But now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set it to the most upright setting. The problem with this is that I only have a 9-degree head, so it's probably gonna be a little too low in loft.
Okay.
So as a matter of fact, I'm not going to send it to the most upright. I'll go one higher. So we're going, let's do this. Instead of D8, we'll go C8. So we're still adding like 0.7 degrees in loft. It's just before we were adding like 1.5 degrees. So
Okay.
it might lower the launch. If this works out great though and like gets you to hit it straighter, all I do is I just order a 10.5 degree head in the
Yeah.
first place because they have 10.5 degree heads. I just don't have it here to test.
Okay.
Right. So try out this guy and then we'll switch out.
Open face.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
good.
wow. Okay. Like that's see, I thought that was going to hit that house over there.
Yeah, well, and that's the cool thing. If I make it more upright, it's
Yeah.
naturally going to shut that face a little bit more for you. You have to do less. That was a little fast but thin.
Yeah.
Again, on a thin miss, I don't hate that. It just spun a little too much.
Yeah.
Got it a little too thin for it to recover.
We got the
See, like, so
Yeah.
anytime you're hitting in that, as I said, anything low of that line or right of that line causes spin.
Right.
So that's, unfortunately, the dynamics of a modern golf club.
yeah. Hit it off the toe.
If you're gonna miss,
If you're gonna miss, hit it off
on a
the toe.
driver and you value distance, which I'll be honest though, I don't know if I like this setting as much. It feels like you're
Yeah. I mean,
not getting as quite a good data.
let's try one more.
Yeah. Good swing. Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's exactly what I thought was going to happen, which is to say it's going too low, right?
Yeah.
Before, a moment ago, we had great height, we had great land angle, but now it's a little low, and the launch is a little low. Now, again, my perspective is, and I'll take this out for sake of argument, if we really like what the red is doing, which is the original setting,
Right.
then we just get you a 10.5 degree head. Because basically how I had set it up right then was at 10.5 and a degree and a half upright. So I just give you a 10.5 degree head, make it a degree and a half upright, and
Right.
then actually it gives you more flexibility because then you could go even higher in loft if you needed to,
Yeah.
or then bump it back down in the future if needed to.
Right.
So tons of flexibility. We love that future fit hosel. But now we'll see what other companies have to say, right?
see.
I like Titleist, and I'm seeing that it's still performing among the best ones. So it's also really adjustable. I can make it very upright, right?
Yeah.
Shut the face, kind of like we did with that Cobra. And I'm going to set it the same way. I'm going to make it 10.5 degrees and as upright as it can go.
Okay.
So that's the Titleist GT2. And again, that's set as upright as it can be, 10.5 degree loft. So it's kind of a comparable comparison to what we've been testing. Great ball speed, just a little low in launch. But again,
I'm pretty straight though.
yeah, very straight. And right in the same kind of wheelhouse as
Yeah.
we're talking about these other ones. Yeah, attacking just got a little low on me there.
Yeah. And you want that to be high?
Yeah, generally the best, Bryson and Rory will hit 5 to 7.
Yeah,
For an average
okay.
person, like 2 to 3 is great.
there we
You've
go.
been at kind of 1.5. So how you can affect that, by the way, and it might help with the being open, right? So if you're consistently at impact open faced,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this for the camera, but if you're consistently like open here, right? If you put it up in the stance, you have more
by
time to
the time.
shut.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, you have more time to go this way,
Yeah.
right? So like if here you're kind of hitting positive, maybe a little, now you're hitting it even that
Yeah.
that a little bit more. Not saying you need to, but
Right. Something to think about.
correct, genuinely. You see your launch come up so much?
Yeah.
not bad. And it was a miss. You could tell because efficiency was worse. But look at your attacking. I'm so proud of you. You just you take direction well, man. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to like
sports for a very long time. You're doing this wrong. Okay.
Yeah, it's golf for you, right?
Yeah.
That is golf. That was well struck.
Yeah.
Again, a 150 smash factor. And again, what's the one thing that hasn't changed? It's shaft. Shaft is that engine, right? So like we're seeing that efficiency being the same no matter what kind of club head we're talking about between these two. The only thing that I don't like is that it's a little lower in height, which is interesting because I have this set as high as it goes. This is a 10.5 degree. It's a 9-degree head set to 10.5, right? So to be honest with you, I don't necessarily want to have you get that much higher, especially because the Cobra had better numbers. But in terms of feel, how does this feel compared to the Cobra?
It feels a little lighter, if I'm being honest. It feels like more heavy in the head.
Okay.
I don't know if that's an accurate statement, but that's just what it feels like.
Hey, your perceptions are you, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no hard and fast for any of this. Like, this is why I can't fit remotely. Like, I have to see you in front of me to be able to kind of pivot and make these changes.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it feels good.
Yeah, another good one, just low and launch, right? So if you had told me that you really love this one, what I would basically want to do is give you a higher lofted version of this head. The problem is...
This is the highest loft.
Well, not even, well, yeah, it's as high as that one goes anyway, but you're like, what I would do, like you might be robbing Peter to save Paul. If I go higher in loft, ball speed comes down, this comes up, and this comes up, and then maybe you don't get as much as what we were seeing from before. And if you're a Cobra guy, you're not offending me at all because those numbers were fantastic, right? So do you mind if I switch your head again?
No, of course.
Thank you. So the next head we're going to try is the TaylorMade, the QI 40 LS, right? So again, low spin to guard against those spinny misses that you tend to have. And this is cool because I can put the same kind of weight structure that your existing driver has, where it's got two weights, a weight in the back and the front, but I'm going to switch it. I'm going to have the heavier weight up front to promote higher ball speed and lower spin. And then I'm also setting it to the upright setting, meaning it's as closed as it can possibly look while still maintaining the same loft.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so way different feel on this one. The last couple of heads are going to obviously be like metal faces. This is carbon, right?
Yeah,
so 60 layers.
I mean, it looks way different. Too.
Yeah, it does.
It's like very shiny. You said this is carbon?
Yeah. So for depending on the person, it feels like squishy.
Yeah.
And do you remember what like legal limit smash factor was?
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah, okay.
5-0.
Golf police, bud. Get your papers ready. That's really good. That is really good. Again, 161. Oh, it's great. Just a little open face.
Yeah.
So the last one you were
path was
2 degrees shut. This one was 5 degrees open. So somewhere in between those two.
That club path was aggressive as well. It feels good though. I like the weight of this one.
Good. Yeah, better than Titleist.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, oh, holy shit. I walk away.
I was like, I wanted to see that one. That one
Wait a
felt
minute.
good.
So I walk away for like 2 seconds to get the best effing drive of the day.
I was like, I need to see that one.
Where are you
That
even
one felt
hiding
good.
that guy on me?
I mean, I don't know. Where's my confetti?
Yeah. That was, I mean, you literally cannot hit it longer or straighter than that. That is nuts.
Let's go.
Let's do a couple more. Let's see if that's consistent.
Yeah.
But that is brilliant. Oh, man.
It sounds really good. Yeah,
Look, okay, so not to be weird, but once I see you do something once, I know you can do it
weird.
again. Look at those last 2 swings. They are the longest, straightest of your day. Suddenly, I don't care about anything else we talked about.
Right.
Get rid of Titleist, get rid of, honestly, the other shaft. And when we're taking a look, again, I tell you to change for like 8 to 10 yards. Look at the difference here. You are carrying it 10 yards farther than your total run out before, and now you are hitting consistently over 300-yard drives, right? When you're swinging at 108 miles an hour, this is on your average of those last 2 swings. It is literally perfect. You cannot get more unless you swing faster. And I know your potential is there, but I don't need it, right? And look at your straight. Look at how straight you are.
I know.
That is awesome. Yeah. That, dude, I mean, that is a literal club champion commercial. That is why people come in to do what we're doing.
I mean, this feels awesome. I like it.
Oh, good. Give me one more, but
Yeah.
we're basically done. The likelihood I'm going to find you something better than that is very small. Look at how consistent you are. Holy cow. Even that one, as your spinny miss that you didn't hit as good, still
Yeah.
is a 290-yard shot that's dead straight.
Yeah.
Right? It's 15 yards of a fade. That sounded pretty good. Holy cow. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is extremely good. What I love is your miss, your terrible miss, is still a PGA Tour average smash factor that totaled 290. And we saw the potential for 302, 304, 307, and just shy of 300-yard shots. And I mean, you were even getting used to it here. These are the last basically 4 swings that you had here.
Really like this.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to steal that from you.
Okay.
The only other head that I think is going to, or I mean, I shouldn't say the only other head. All these, manufacturers make great product, but I want to make sure that we try Callaway's Triple Diamond, their Quantum, because it's another head that's designed to spin low. And again, I could set it upright, right? So I'm setting it to a draw biased, so it's going to shut that face a little bit. It's the same loft as everything we're testing, but I will genuinely be shocked if we see anything better than this.
That sounded way different.
Correct. And that's the difference in terms of like, okay, that's carbon versus titanium, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there is carbon in the face of this. Callaway's done some really cool technology here where they have the thinnest titanium face that they've ever had. So the thinner the face, the more trampoline effect, so the more speed, right? Underneath that, they have a polymer that that actually was used in C4, so it's a really cool technology that's not normally in clubs up until this point. And then behind that, they have a carbon face. So what you're feeling is the titanium. That's very good. Here, do you mind if I steal that?
Yeah.
This is the first one where it's actually doing so low in height that I need to kind of immediately tweak it. So this is why like a 10.5, like a lot of people come in to see me and they're just like, oh yeah, I played a 10.5 degree driver, and if I try to tweak it, they're like, oh no, I've always played a 10.5.
Yeah.
Sometimes like not all of those are made equal, right? This 10.5 is just launching, you're hitting it great, but the spin is too low and the launch is too low. So to be honest, I just need to add loft to kind of make sure that we're getting in the window that we want to see. So let's give you this head. Now cranked up a little bit in loft. So instead of 10.5, it's actually 12.5.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Definitely got more height, even on a pole. As you know, pole will tend to go a little bit lower in terms of ball flight. That just does not look as easy. You get 2 swings in, you're like, I like TaylorMade better.
I like the TaylorMade.
Here, So now that we're done with the fit, we're gonna have you try this one more time again, just for fun, just to make sure that you're still liking the feel. But we have a large, wide circle dispersion in white. That's your existing golf club, right? So we saw that there was, right, left. We saw that there was north-south bias, and now in red is the new club, right? And I included a miss to show what you're capable of, but if I was nice, I would just show the 3 best ones.
Yeah.
Only this is a 15-yard dispersion from left and right in basically nearly 3 successive swings. But even if I'm including this miss, this is still dramatically better. And again, this is why we go over all the goals before we go through a fitting, right? So a goal for you was to be more accurate. We obviously proved that. So we didn't necessarily need you to swing any faster, right? But club head speed came up in kind no matter, regardless. Every mile an hour of ball speed here is 2 to 3 yards in carry. So that's why we're seeing so much more distance here. We're getting that perfect PGA Tour smash factor. The launch is a hair down. The spin is massively down. And we didn't lose any height, but we got that flatter ball flight.
Yeah.
So basically everything we wanted to see. And to be fair, you're swinging a little bit better. You're hitting more up on it. But that's awesome. You're just kind of tweaking yourself and, like allowing for the best kind of numbers. So do you have any questions for me about any of that?
No, how'd you get so good at fitting?
A lot of practice. You fit hundreds of people, my friend, and and it also helps to have great swings on your end, right? I can only work with the swings that people are giving me. So despite you being really new to this, the fact that you're as consistent as you are is a testament to your own game, and it's a reason why I think a lot of people will say like, hey, I'm too early to get fitted. Precisely, I'm 2 years into this or whatever, but like here's the thing, like you're consistent enough, and that's the thing. And I think a lot of people, we're our own worst critics. I think a lot of people are like, hey, I'm expecting maybe, I may not be worth this. I am not as consistent as I need to be to get this fitting. But the cool thing is these fittings make you more consistent, right? And I think here, you've already seen it proven from your irons that your handicap went down. I think this is going to even be a bigger deal because like irons are important. They're really important, but like driver sets you up on every hole, right? So, like I said, thanks for the consistent swings. You made me look good.
Thank you.
So yeah, and this basically, if you want to try one more time just to reestablish feel, but we're effectively done.
Yeah, for sure. Let's swing a couple more.
Right back to it.
Yeah.
Another 300-yard drive, and it's the same circle dispersion that we saw the first time, right? So now 74 swings in, you are just as consistent. And again, I've seen you faster. And in the heat of the season, I think you maybe gain a little bit of speed and consistency from continuing to practice.
Yeah.
But this will hang with you for that, for sure.
Let's go. Sick.
That was really fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please hit the like and subscribe button below and check out the channel.